Part 12. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 111. The setting sun shaded the bamboo leaves, scattering dots of red. The breeze gently brushed the water surface, rippling the waves. In the yard, several servants were cleaning the courtyard back and forth. An old couple sat in the pavilion in the woods to cool off. A little girl carefully added tea beside them, and occasionally glanced at the living room window. This is the adventure map, Wushan Town, the explorer's private residence. Switching to the explorer's Xiaoming, he was chatting with two guests in the living room. "Brother, it's only been a few days, and you made a big news again. It made my sister run again. My feet are sore." The speaker was a middle-aged lady. Although she was called middle-aged, she actually looked about the same as Li Huamei. Both of them looked about 30 years old. The difference is that Li Huamei is really in her 30s. Xiaoming has contact with Yan, Xingju and others. He probably knows Li Huamei's real age from casual conversations. She has been a pirate for only a few years. As for this elder sister, it's a bit difficult to say. After all, Xiaoming has only seen her once before. Just a few days ago, Mr. Guo brought 3 high-ranking monks to see Xiaoming making a universal crossbow for monks. This lady was one of them. At that time, she was dignified, steady, mature, and generous, so in Xiaoming's impression, this lady should have entered middle age. Generally speaking, those who can get to such a high level should be quite old, right? Seeing her again today, well, all the previous compliments have been vindicated. What the hell is dignified about her? The last time she came, it must be because Mr. Guo was there, so she pretended to be like that. Now her true colors are finally exposed. I saw her cross-legged without any image, shaking. When she said that her feet were sore, she even raised the leg that was raised and put her toes in front of the explorer. There was a meaning of "I don't believe it, let me show you." In addition, the tremor in her voice. "You are going to make trouble. Auntie, is it really okay to tease young people?" Shopkeeper Huo, who was sitting over there, couldn't stand it anymore. He held his forehead with his hand, but just shook his head helplessly, looking like he didn't dare to meddle in other people's business. Seeing Brother Huo's response, Xiaoming sighed. It seems that this lady has a bad reputation. Use vision to confirm again. Yes, it is indeed fierce. If Xiaoming is really a teenager, he must be embarrassed at this moment. But his soul is a senior otaku who is nearly 40 years old. How can he blush because of this? At most, he just stared at her. As an old virgin, he was undoubtedly attracted by the beautiful legs in front of him. The same brown linen robe of the ascetic monk. Xiaoming and Han Dong look so rustic when they wear it. When they walk on the street, kind people will take the initiative to give them 2 steamed buns or something. When Guo Lao wears it, he returns to nature, steady and dignified. Ordinary people don't think it's anything, but at a glance, this is a hermit master. When it comes to the sister, the linen clothes make her look like a Chong Sam. She was exquisite, charming, and full of enchantment. And she was barefoot, not even wearing shoes. If someone else didn't wear shoes, Xiaoming would think that it was carrying forward the traditional virtues of ascetics. Her. Haha, it was definitely intentional. His eyes were fixed on the white jade in front of him, and he seemed to smell a faint fragrance in his nose. It was beautiful and lingering. Do you think it would be more pleasing to the eye if she wore stockings and a uniform? If she wore her own uniform with her mind power, would she also be able to add the power of the uniform? Or would it conflict with her original power system? Before watching for a while, Xiaoming's thoughts strayed again. If he couldn't concentrate on looking at beautiful women, what else could he do? Then his eyes wandered away, imagining what the big sister opposite him would look like with his own uniform and stockings with his mind power. Self-sufficiency is also the strength of otakus. Stop. Xiaoming wiped the saliva that had not yet flowed from the corner of his mouth. He quickly pulled his thoughts back. Sister, Xiaoming didn't dare to call her aunt, and his desire to survive was still very strong. I don't know what to call her. What's your last name? Oh, let me introduce you, this is. Shopkeeper Huo saw that there was a gap and quickly interrupted to dispel the unbearable atmosphere. Hate it, Yingying. People have to answer their brother's questions. You are not allowed to interrupt. Yingying shocked brother Huo and he shut up immediately. The lady changed her posture, switched her legs, raised the other beautiful leg, and shook her jade feet. The explorer's eyes also shook. Fortunately, there was a round table between the three people that blocked half of the view, and she changed her legs quickly, so Xiaoming didn't catch the scenery at that moment. I forgot to use dot. My sister's name is Lan Yura, Lan for orchid, Yu for wind and rain, and Ro for gentle. Don't be fooled by my beauty. I am a 5th level high priest. Very powerful. Girls talk a lot, and it's not easy to make mistakes with these words. 5th level high priest is really amazing, and Xiaoming was mentally prepared for this. But watching her roll up her sleeves, revealing her white arms, and posing as if she was very powerful. So embarrassing. Not scary at all. With those slender hands, it is very likely that men will suffer from beauty attacks, which will lead to heavy bleeding. Xiaoming couldn't help but touch his nostrils, but fortunately there was no blood. He came back to his senses and was about to ask them why they came to him. But Lan Yura didn't give him a chance to speak. Don't be afraid, brother. I'm here to reward you. Reward? You. What reward? For reasons that all men understand, Xiaoming immediately lost his composure. The formula of the bloodthirsty potion you got has been leaked to the court. Even His Majesty was alarmed. So it was because of this. So disappointed. Looking at the frustrated and confused expression of the explorer, the high priest was very satisfied. So he comforted him. Don't be afraid. The pressure in the court is being borne by the old ascetics. You are only rewarded. Lan Yura licked her lips, seeming a little envious. Brother, you have made a lot of money this time. Originally, the Huo's Chamber of Commerce was going to directly exchange this formula for their own. Xiaoming also agreed. When reporting to the top of the Chamber of Commerce, the elder of the Huo's family did not dare to hide the credit of his junior brother from his mentor, Mr. Guo. So under the operation of Mr. Guo's ascetic system, this bloodthirsty potion formula became the contribution of the ascetics to the country. Now, in addition to the Huo's Chamber of Commerce and the explorers being greatly rewarded, even the ascetic monks have collectively gained considerable benefits. If the Chamber of Commerce presented the reward to the country as shopkeeper Huo had thought before, the benefits that the Chamber of Commerce and the explorers could get would be much smaller. This is the importance of a backer. Of course, there is also the intention of the court to control and win over niche professionals. Seeing that Aunt Lan seemed to be going off topic, shopkeeper Huo quickly took over the conversation and told the rewards that the explorers had received one by one. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 112. During the whole event of offering bloodthirsty potion, Xiaoming didn't know how many political transactions and operations the high-level monks headed by Mr. Guo had carried out. As a otaku who has read many officialdom and historical online novels, he can only roughly guess the outline, and he certainly doesn't know the details. Comparing what he saw and heard in the Guangling incident, Xiaoming thought that there must be a lot of trouble in the middle. But it doesn't matter. If it were real, it would be worth worrying about. In the game, it's just a plot, so it's not worth paying too much attention to. As for what the monks and the Huo's Chamber of Commerce can get, Xiaoming doesn't care at all. He only cares about how much reward the explorer will get. The first item is the court reward, the title. The explorer won the first-class knight title of the Song dynasty. Naturally, he also got the corresponding adventure equipment, the first-class knight medal of the Song dynasty. Along with the title, there is also a court reward of 20,000 gold coins. The original court gave 25,000, and when the Ministry of Revenue allocated it, there were only 20,000. This is a common practice in the Song dynasty. That's right, the background of the adventure map is the Song dynasty in the history of the Earth that has been heavily modified by the system. The appearance of Tang Long in the previous article is also a relatively obvious clue. This is a real title, which is fundamentally different from the honorary Knight of the Elves that the researcher got. The honorary title of the Elves is more of a reputation. Apart from 2 paid guards, there is no real benefit. The title of this tribe is very different. First, the explorer can hire 2 second-level human noble guards with the first-class knight medal. Second, with this medal, the explorer can go to the court office every month and receive a salary of 5,000 gold coins. With the nature of the Song dynasty, this money may also have to be discounted. For the explorer's ability to make money, this amount of gold coins is indeed not much. But for ordinary players who have not yet entered the strategic map, these gold coins are definitely not a small amount. However, ordinary players want to get a title, probably after entering the strategic map for a long time. At that time, 5,000 gold coins are not much for them. Again, this medal also gives the wearer a certain attribute bonus. The current bonus is add 5% of the experience gained by the explorer's life profession. How to describe this bonus? Alas, it can't be said to be useless, but it's a bit tasteless. Compared with the bonus of some racial medals that can directly increase combat power, it's still a little worse. The last effect is what Xiaoming values most. The medal can increase the wearer's upper limit of 100 points of life, 100 points of upper limit of strength, 100 points of upper limit of mana, and 1 upper limit of mercenary. This directly increases the combat capability and survivability of the explorer's adventure map. Good stuff. The explorer took the medal from shopkeeper Huo and played with it lovingly. Suddenly, he felt numb all over his body, and a soft body pressed on the explorer's back. The soft touch made Xiaoming feel like he touched the electric switch once. Lan Yura poked her head out from the explorer's shoulder and whispered in his ear. "Brother, you can't forget your old friends when you become a high-ranking official. Look, they are still looking at you infatuatedly." She nodded to the window. Xiaoming looked over and found that she was talking about Lu Xiaomei, who was chatting with Tang Long's parents in the bamboo pavilion in the yard. Didn't she go to work at the Chamber of Commerce today? It seemed that Lu Xiaomei was not looking at him now. He did feel her gaze just now. But it was not as ambiguous as the one on his back said. If he and Lu Xiaomei really had that kind of relationship, Lan Yura would still pose in such an ambiguous posture, which was definitely to destroy the explorer's family harmony. The explorer and shopkeeper Huo had big embarrassed words on their faces. No one could do anything about such a person. He was a level 5 professional, and he would definitely not be able to beat him, and he couldn't get rid of him even if he wanted to. With such an ambiguous pressure, the explorer's whole body strength was suppressed. Xiaoming was embarrassed and happy. Life is like that. Since you can't do that, just do that. Shopkeeper Huo couldn't bear to see his little brother explorer continue to be embarrassed. He quickly took out the second reward. The title and gold coins are rewards from the court. The ascetic monk also gave a big gift, the third-level strategic treasure silver statue of the God of Light, faith value, 0/10,000. This treasure is equivalent to a mobile temple of light. It has similar functions and special effects that other temples do not have. 1 strategic teleportation, the holder and his subordinates, limited to 3 people, can teleport between the strategic map and the adventure map through the statue. 2 ascetic monk transfer, consuming faith value can transfer NPCs of the light race, including arms creatures, generals, and heroes to ascetics. The consumption of faith value is quite similar to the consumption of death breath by the death god silver coin. Level 1 creatures consume 10 points of faith value, level 2 20 points, level 3 40 points, and so on. Level 1 generals/heroes consume 100 points of faith, level 2 consumes 200 points, level 3 consumes 400 points. 3 general transfer, consuming faith points can transfer the free NPC of the light race to a general. Level 1 NPC consumes 1000 points of faith, level 2 consumes 2000 points, level 3 consumes 4000 points, and so on. For light dedication, this is a more pleasant way to say. In fact, it is the same way as collecting death breath with death coins, that is, to destroy the enemy. The difference is, death coins are never picky, and can destroy any enemy, even the undead race. The holy statue of light is a bit tricky. Only by destroying enemies belonging to the dark forces can you increase the faith value. This is a bit difficult, because the dark forces are not easy to find. Some dark type troops are affiliated with the light or neutral forces, and there is no faith value if you destroy them. Some races, such as the orcs, the nemesis of mankind, are neutral forces in principle, and there is no faith value if you destroy them. Of course, there are some light type or neutral type troops affiliated with the dark forces, and you can also get faith points by destroying them. These people are also not easy to find. Fortunately, there is another way to collect faith points: praying. The explorer himself and his troops, all the troops, generals, and heroes who believe in the God of Light, will increase the faith value of the holy statue of light when they pray. Although this method is slow, it will accumulate little by little, and it will take a long time. The strategic treasures rewarded by the ascetic headquarters are very good and very practical for explorers. But there is no monetary reward. The poorness of the ascetic is also well known. As a result, the ascetic monks have a nickname among other people, the beggar gang. Of course, the ascetic monks will not beg. It's just that they can't enjoy themselves even if they have money, so others will think they look like beggars. Especially the clothes. In fact, the ascetic monks are more like ascetics in the earth world. The object of faith is slightly different. But there is no profession of monk on the magic planet. There is no belief in Buddha. So the native NPCs will not make similar associations. If the ascetic monks knew, they would definitely prefer to be associated with monks. It's better than beggars, right? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 113. The explorer's cheeks were rubbed vigorously by the envious and jealous High Priest Lan to vent his anger. She didn't even have a treasure like the silver statue of light. It's not that her level is not high enough or her contribution is not great enough, how could it be possible? It's just because she doesn't need it. The statue is a strategic treasure. Lan Yura, who is at level 5, is too strong and can no longer be transferred to a hero. If she can't be a hero, the strategic treasure is useless to her. This thing is not blown by the wind. The stingy high-level monks will definitely not give strategic treasures to someone who can't use it, no matter how high her position or how strong her strength is. The explorer, whose face was rubbed sore, finally endured until this female devil gave up on her own initiative. The statue was also borrowed by her temporarily. Looking at the beautiful big sister who returned to her seat, held the statue in her hands, rubbed and played with it, and even put it in front of her nose to smell the smell. Hiss, a bit hard, Xiaoming helplessly adjusted his sitting posture and leaned forward appropriately. Brother Huo also made a similar pose. It seems that he was killed to the same extent. Alas, We are in the same boat. Shopkeeper Huo quickly distributed the third reward, which was the reward given by Huo's Chamber of Commerce. To divert attention, he took out two things from his bosom, one seemed to be a torn sack, and the other was a blue bead. They looked inconspicuous. It was not until Xiaoming took these two things in his hands that he realized that it was a big deal. The Chamber of Commerce is hearted. Let's talk about this torn sack first. This is a third-level strategic treasure, ascetic equipment bag. It can be used to purchase the inherited equipment of the ascetic. The function of this treasure is obviously matched with the silver statue of Light God. The relationship between these two treasures is like a teapot and a teacup, and they will not be separated easily. To be honest, when Xiaoming just got the statue, he didn't realize that there was a big pit hidden in it. The statue can indeed transfer NPCs to ascetics. But the statue did not provide the corresponding inheritance equipment, and the ascetic monks can only use inheritance equipment. Imagine that on the strategic map, the ascetic monks who had just changed their jobs removed their original weapons and armor, but had no new equipment to replenish, and could only fight with empty hands. Isn't this cheating? So the ascetic monks and the Chamber of Commerce actually communicated early on. The teapot and teacup must be given together. The equipment bag given by the Chamber of Commerce is specially to accompany the statue and provide equipment for the newly promoted ascetic monks. For the reward of the explorer, the ascetic monks have taken great pains. They know that the explorer has the ability to make general equipment for the ascetic monks. Now they want to develop this ability of the explorer to the extreme through the reward of treasures. In their imagination, in the near future, after the explorer enters the strategic map, they will definitely try their best to transfer low-level soldiers to ascetic monks, and provide general equipment for the ascetic monks under their command. Moreover, these equipment are made extra after the explorer surrenders 20 general crossbows every week. We must also squeeze out the explorer's spare time and ability, and all of them contribute to the development of the ascetic monks. In the eyes of the top management, the production of general equipment is definitely not simple, and it requires considerable energy and time. However, the explorer is still very young, and appropriate pressure can make him grow. For every bit of his effort, the top management will give him due rewards and honors. These old foxes are calculating when giving rewards. The explorer said, "I like this kind of calculation, the more the better." The use of ascetic monk equipment bag is super simple. Throw 10 gold coins in, and you will spit out a set of ascetic monks inheritance equipment, a rattan stick and a linen robe. This is a mobile store. 10 gold coins per set, the price is not bad. What is really scary is the long-term transaction volume. Xiaoming can foresee that the Huo's Chamber of Commerce will definitely make a lot of money from him in the future. And this is money that the explorer must be willing to spend. Xiaoming doesn't know whether to thank the Chamber of Commerce for being anxious or complaining about their black heart. It can only be said that they are indeed well-intentioned, no less than the ascetic monks. Another reward from the Chamber of Commerce fully reflects this point. Inheritance Orb, a third-level adventure treasure. It carries the essence of the Naga clan's swordsmanship, including 4 levels of 2 arms, 4 arms, 6 arms, and 8 arms. Only for the Naga clan. After use, the orb will disappear, and the user will automatically learn the Naga swordsmanship. This is clearly specially prepared for divers. Of course, the Huo Chamber of Commerce could not know that the player Zhang Xiaoming has another character of the Sea Clan Naga, the diver. Then why would they give the explorer such a seemingly useless reward? The reason is also very simple. The Sea Clan goods that the explorer takes out for trading are all handled by the diver. It is inevitable that some low-level Naga's breath is contaminated on them. This has long been discovered by the capable people of the Chamber of Commerce. Storekeeper Huo is one of them. At the beginning, the Chamber of Commerce thought that the Sea Clan goods taken out by the explorer were the accumulation of Guo Lao's line for many years. Once they are sold, they will be gone. We can only hope that there are enough stocks. When the goods were in hand, the Chamber of Commerce soon discovered that these were not old goods, but newly produced goods. And the one who handled them was the same low-level sea tribe Naga. This is a signal that cross-race transactions can be carried out for a long time. Naturally, it attracted the attention of the top leaders of the Chamber of Commerce. Otherwise, there would be no such good things. The current low-level sea creatures products have already opened up many new business areas for the Huo's Chamber of Commerce, and the elders of the Huo family are already grinning from ear to ear. If they can go one step further and get more and higher level sea creatures products, the Huo's Chamber of Commerce will probably count money until their hands cramp. Merchants will not sit and wait for pie in the sky. The top leaders of the Chamber of Commerce unanimously decided that they must take the initiative to increase investment. The bloodthirsty potion incident just happened to catch up with this time. Although they can't judge whether the mysterious Naga is a friend of the explorer or a friend of Guo Lao's family, or a close descendant of a key sea creature. But there must be a very important low-level Naga on the other side of the transaction, there is no doubt about that. That's why this reward came into being. The Chamber of Commerce hopes to use the inheritance orb to improve the relationship between Guo Lao. The explorer also belongs to Guo Lao's family, and the unknown sea creature Naga on the other side. As long as the favorability is improved, the quality and quantity of the goods that can be traded will increase. In this way, the Chamber of Commerce will also have a greater development prospect. It can only be said that the Huo's Chamber of Commerce has made a good calculation. The two rewards can bring direct benefits to the Chamber of Commerce in the long run. Xiaoming was also really convinced. Although he understood the main intention of the Chamber of Commerce, it was an open conspiracy. He could not refuse these two treasures at all. He had to accept them with gratitude. Of course, he didn't know that there were more than these two things in the backpack of shopkeeper Huo. If the explorer was not satisfied, there were backup items there. There is always one that suits you. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 114. Seeing that the explorer happily accepted the inheritance orb, he did not show any special attention between his eyebrows. Shopkeeper Huo observed his words and knew that his little brother had not yet realized the true value of this inheritance orb. For businessmen, favors are also assets, and they must not do useless work. Even if they have done 10 points and the other party has only understood 6 points, it is still a loss. If the true value of the orb is not pointed out, the Chamber of Commerce will not get the greatest favor from the explorer. Brother, I wonder how much you know about the Naga tribe. Shopkeeper Huo found a point of entry. Xiaoming was stunned after thinking for a while. I thought I knew, but now I think it seems that I really don't know much. I only heard that it is a very powerful race, and the more arms it has, the more powerful it is. It is a main branch of the sea tribe. As for more, well. Xiaoming suddenly realized that he really didn't know much about the Naga tribe in the game. I have heard a few legends about Naga on Pangu Star, but that is not the same background as the magic planet. As a Naga diver, he is still just hanging around at the bottom of the sea tribe. What he has seen and heard is very limited. So far, he has seen no more than 5 people of the same tribe. He knows almost nothing about the specific situation of his tribe. Seeing this, shopkeeper Huo pretended to tell a story. Let me tell you. Xiaoming was very tactful and gave his brother a cup of hot tea, making a standard waiter-style flattering expression. Knowing that the explorer was making a joke, shopkeeper Huo still smiled and twirled his beard, looking like a child who is teachable, and I am very satisfied. The two men were performing here with all their heart, but they did not attract flowers and applause, but detonated the time bomb sitting next to them. Lan Yura felt a chill all over her body. In fact, Xiaoming and manager Huo's performance was also meant to counter Lan Yura's charm as expected. They succeeded in courting death. You two, "Stop being so disgusting." The high priest made a vomiting gesture, and the surging charm directly subdued the two male creatures. "It's just Naga. Sister will tell you." She held up the silver statue of light as a microphone, waving it while talking. "Two-armed Naga is level 0-1, four-armed Naga is level 2-3, six-armed Naga is level 4-5, eight-armed Naga is level 6 or above. In addition to having a sufficient number of arms, Naga must also learn the corresponding swordsmanship. You can't advance without a few moves. It's useless to have enough arms. The main combat unit of the Naga tribe is the six-armed Naga, which is stronger than the melee units of the same level. Above 8 arms, it is the master level. In the general Naga tribe's inheritance gems, the most is the 6-arm swordsmanship, and the 8-arm swordsmanship is rare. This gem almost represents a new level 6 Naga master. She said a lot in one breath, and even omitted the usual modal particles in the last two sentences. The beauty seemed a little tired. The almond eyes first slanted at shopkeeper Huo, and then stared at the explorer. Xiaoming understood immediately and quickly poured tea for his elder sister. Lan Yura picked up the teacup and drank it all, took a breath, and slowed down her speech. "Brother, don't look at this inheritance gem as only level 3. The value of this kind of treasure depends on the content inside. It has little to do with its own level." Seeing the explorer thoughtful, shopkeeper Huo looked like he was deeply touched by this remark. The beauty continued to reveal the truth. "So the real value of this gem is about level 5. You, my brother, are afraid that you don't understand and don't appreciate it. That's why I want to emphasize it specially." These words made the two men a little embarrassed. So they were silent and bowed to each other. It's not that they can't find anything to say, but that this lady is here to ruin the atmosphere. They don't want to talk much. "By the way, there is business." The beautiful woman saw that the two men were silent. Finally, she remembered the main purpose of her trip. "Tomorrow morning, brother, follow me and do a mission." "Mission? What mission?" While sitting at home, a mission came out of nowhere. The explorer was excited. Then shopkeeper Huo explained the details of the mission to the explorer. Coincidentally, Xiaoming actually knew a little about this matter. On Monday, the first day of the Magic Planet game, the explorer, or more precisely, the researcher, received a mission to escort a player. It was in that mission that Xiaoming met shopkeeper Huo, met his mentor Guo Jinsang, and was transferred to an ascetic monk for his merits. The subsequent plot of that mission was given by Xiaoming to professional players from other guilds to develop together. He also received a little gift in return. I had given up long ago. Unexpectedly, the game plot went around in circles, and the subsequent mission came back to me. The story is this: the transport team of the Huo's Chamber of Commerce encountered a small group of regular orcs crossing the border, and a battle broke out. As a result, the invading orcs were almost completely wiped out. This matter was reported by the generals of the ascetic monks in the Wushan town army, and received attention and discussion from the court. Then it triggered a series of actions in the military, political, diplomatic, and other aspects of the Song dynasty. Of course, most of them were carried out quietly. Xiaoming could not get the specific information about the conspiracies of the top leaders at the bottom. He just received his own task. It was to follow Lan Yura to a secret place to investigate. To be precise, Lan Yura was mainly responsible for leading the way. After arriving at the designated location, it was up to the player himself. After learning the main purpose of Lan Yura's trip, Xiaoming was somewhat depressed. It turned out that awarding the explorer was just a side job. He was so happy just now. A 5th-level high priest made a special trip to give him a reward. It was very face-saving to say it out. But, oh! Zhang Xiaoming, who felt the dark nature of the world, did not go on the path of blackening in the end. The selfless friendship from the girl brought him enough warmth and comfort. Compared with the rewards from the Song Dynasty court, the high-level monks, and the Huo's Chamber of Commerce, the value of Lu Xiaomei's gift was far less than that of the rewards from the Song Dynasty court, the high-level monks, and the Huo's Chamber of Commerce. But the intention was the purest. Sachet, first-level ornament, growthable. Only for the explorer to use. This is the adventure equipment specially made for the explorer by Lu Xiaomei in order to repay the explorer for his help. The sachet exudes the fragrance of flowers and plants and the body fragrance of the girl, which makes people feel happy and excited. Carrying it with you can help the explorer resist or reduce the erosion of external spiritual power. That is, it can resist magic that affects the mind. This gift represents Lu Xiaomei's feelings for the explorer, more than friendship, but less than love. Because the explorer is only level 1, the sachet is only a level 1 accessory for the time being. After the explorer is upgraded, the accessory will also have room to grow. As the longing between the young man and woman grows deeper and the affection grows stronger, the level of this accessory will also become higher and higher, and its effect will become stronger and stronger. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 115. Lu Xiaomei is a rural girl from a remote mountainous area. People in the village are used to calling her Lu Xiaomei. Her father is an honest farmer who has been digging for food from the soil all his life and can barely make ends meet. More than 20 years ago, my mother was in her prime and was still an intermediate tailor. She was considered a senior intellectual in the village. She was very popular and matchmakers were almost scrambling to get married. Somehow she was attracted by her father's steadiness and married him. After marriage, she opened a tailor shop and lived a pretty good life. She gave birth to 3 daughters. The eldest and second sisters had already married. They married people from neighboring villages. Only Lu Xiaomei was still young and not old enough to get married. Girls change a lot when they grow up. Although Lu Xiaomei can't be called a beauty who can make fish sink to the bottom of the water and geese fall to the ground, she can be regarded as a lotus flower emerging from the water. Moreover, she has the best talent and her needlework is better than her father's. She reached the top of the intermediate tailor very early. Seeing the girl gradually grow up, she is ready to bloom. Naturally, there are many suitors, including the son of the village chief. The Lu family parents, who have no sons, can't help but think of finding a live-in son-in-law. Although the reputation of a son-in-law is not very good. But in such a small border village, few people will care. These days, the world is uneasy. Biang village is at the intersection of 3 tribes. There is always a certain degree of chaos. Although there are monsters in the Wushan Mountains, the 3 tribes dare not fight. But small harassment is inevitable, and Biang village is a suitable target for harassment. So it is not a big deal for a few people to die in the village occasionally, and there are many widows and orphans in the village. It is not difficult to accept a son-in-law. The Lu family parents only discuss this thought in secret. If their daughter really finds a good guy, the two will not stop it. Biang village is not big, and there are only so many boys of the same age. Little sister Lu really didn't like any of them before. These are the background stories of Lu Xiaomei in the game before June 6. All the players who came to this village are young men and women in Biang village, just like Zhang Xiaoming. They have the identity of ordinary villagers. June 6 is the day when the wheel of fate begins to turn. The ordinary young explorer from the same village seemed to have suddenly received the blessing of the god of light. Like a prince riding a white horse, he stood out from his peers and radiated 1,000-foot light. He illuminated her life and disturbed her heart. Let's see what the explorer did. He helped Lu Xiaomei advance to a senior tailor, took great care of her business, and provided high-end materials. Later, he took her to the town, accompanied her shopping, found her a high-paying job, and let her live a life she had never dared to think of before. In just a few days, Lu Xiaomei's life has changed dramatically. From a country girl to a city white-collar worker. At the same time, the explorer himself has also made rapid progress and quickly grown into a powerful professional. He has been valued by many big men. Growing to level 15 in just a few days was powerful enough for Lu Xiaomei. What was even more amazing was the attitude of shopkeeper Huo that shocked her. Shopkeeper Huo was a big man that even the village chief respected. I heard that a young man in the same village became a hero with the help of the explorer and became a direct subordinate of the explorer. There were many other people who also received enthusiastic help from the explorer. Lu Xiaomei now lives with these people. She has not found a house to live in. Lu Xiaomei's horizons were not broadened, and this kind of loser counterattack to become tall, rich, and handsome plot was too lethal to her. In fact, if she observed carefully, most players were like this. Poor her, she could only see the explorer from the beginning. If the explorer's height and appearance were not really ordinary, not very attractive, Lu Xiaomei might have pushed him back long ago. Now, Lu Xiaomei's affection for the explorer has been brewing very deeply. A girl's first love is always passionate and irrational. Since Xiao Ming has been busy with various affairs, the time to switch to the explorer is very limited. How can I have time to deal with such emotional issues between boys and girls? If Xiao Ming is more open, it should not be difficult to win over Lu Xiaomei, and he can even taste some sweetness. Unfortunately, Xiao Ming is a little bit reluctant. The girl has to take action first. This sachet soaked with the girl's heart. The words game, virtual, NPC are like the sword of Damocles hanging high. They subconsciously suppress some of Xiao Ming's thoughts. Some players may be more unscrupulous because of this. But Xiao Ming is not that kind of player. So the relationship between the two of them is hanging in the air, neither up nor down. At this time, it is really easy to be NTR, for both parties. From this point of view, it is not a pity that they are not together, and they don't have to worry about the next home. I don't know if Xiao Ming will regret crying in the toilet if Lu Xiaomei is pursued by others in the future. Lu Xiaomei went to the Chamber of Commerce today, but she came back half a day earlier with Manager Huo and Lan Yura. The 5th level High Priest came specifically for the explorer, and the little girl was proud of it. The expression on her face was clearly seen by the two old foxes. When she came back, she had the sachet in her arms. Don't think that this is just a first level accessory, the attribute of growth is hard to come by. On the one hand, the reason why Lu Xiaomei was able to make this treasure is that she put all her efforts into it. On the other hand, it also proves that her talent is really extraordinary. Lu Xiaomei herself may not be able to make a second sachet like this. Just like first love only happens once. After returning, the little girl did not dare to delay the three people's discussion, so she obediently accompanied the two elders of the Tang family to chat in the pavilion. After everything was discussed here, Manager Huo said goodbye and left, but Lan Yura stayed. She decided to stay here tonight, so as not to run over early tomorrow morning. Aunt Tang led Lan Yura to the guest room for accommodation. When she was about to reach the door, Lan Yura acted weird again. She stretched out her hand to lift the chin of Lu Xiaomei, who had just come over, approached the girl's face, and looked at it for a long time. There was a trace of tenderness in her eyes, Xiao Ming's imagination. Just when Xiao Ming thought she was going to kiss her, the high priest shook his head gently, turned around and gave the explorer a meaningful look. Then she left like a snake spirit, swaying her body. These 2 steps made her walk with all kinds of charm, attracting many eyes. It was only then that Xiao Ming finally breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed. Although such a beauty is pleasing to the eyes, it also makes people feel uneasy. This scene is over. I have to go on a mission with her tomorrow, and then I will have to endure it again. Fortunately, she is a 5th level high priest, and it is impossible for her to be on the stage for too long. At most, she is a role at the end. I don't think she will be with me for a long time. While she was gone, Xiaoming had the energy to call up the secret game Arctic Ice, and continued to play it with the last progress on his left hand. Only at the most tense moment will Xiaoming stop the game in his hand. For example, in a fierce battle, or in a relatively strong stimulation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 116. Two fish flashed past one after the other, like an airplane pulling a line, leaving two entangled tracks on the seabed, one of which was a red track. This is a great white shark chasing a wounded dolphin, and it will soon enter the warning range of Greystone Town. The great white shark also knows that it cannot get too close to Greystone Town, but it can't just watch the food that is already at its mouth run away. As long as it chases it for a little longer, the prey will soon use up all its energy, oxygen, and have to change direction and flow to the surface. In the process of turning and floating, the speed of the dolphin will definitely not escape its sharp teeth. Because the great white shark deliberately occupied a higher water level. Due to greed, it did not stop chasing, but accelerated urgently, hoping to bite the prey before entering the warning range, even if it only bit off a piece of meat. As expected, several crossbows were shot from different defense arrow towers, piercing the body of the great white shark from different angles. If it could speak, it would definitely denounce the sea tribe guards for not following the rules. This has not entered the warning range yet. What an unjust death. The dolphin who escaped death looked back at the great white shark that was shot dead, nodded in the direction of the arrow tower, and then quickly floated up, almost suffocated to death. Several shrimp soldiers of the sea tribe came out of the arrow tower and swam towards the shark's body. Shark meat is not delicious, but it cannot be wasted, and it is said that fish fins are very valuable. This kind of scene happens every now and then outside the limestone town. In fact, killing one fish to save another fish does not conform to the concept of ecological balance. And generally speaking, it is enough to scare away the invaders, and there is no need to kill them. However, the reputation of dolphins in the sea tribe is much better than that of sharks. It is no wonder that the sea tribe is partial. For example, this time's early action. The shark is also to blame for its bad popularity. It and the dolphin are both predators. The dolphin can distinguish intelligent creatures and not kill them, and even help them when there is a chance. Sharks, on the other hand, treat everyone equally, killing without distinction, and will bite anything edible. With such low EQ, he deserves to be unlucky. In the town, the diver didn't know that the food reserves of Greystone Town had increased again. He was silently taking a last look at the inheritance orb. What he was thinking about was what happened to the explorer before he switched. In the living room after the guests left, Lu Xiaomei saw that there were no outsiders present, so she took out the treasured sachet from her bosom and gave it to the explorer. Xiaoming was moved to tears. Holding the sachet that still had a little girl's body temperature, the explorer's expression management was a little out of control. Lu Xiaomei saw it and thought that the explorer was very happy to receive her gift, very happy, so happy. So happy that his facial muscles cramped. Is this happiness a little crazy? Is he so moved? Feeling that her intentions were not in vain, a warm feeling surged in the little girl's heart. Lu Xiaomei suddenly felt her face getting hot, and she knew that she must have blushed, so she turned around and ran away shyly. She had a little misunderstanding. In fact, Xiaoming was excited because he had seen the great skills of those big guys before and was shocked. In contrast, Xiaoming felt that the sachet was more heartwarming than those titles and treasures when he received a simple gift from the simple Lu Xiaomei. He was almost 40 years old, so it was enough to feel sad for a while. Xiaoming collected his thoughts and went to his bedroom. That room was the safest. This is the system setting, and players must always be given a safe place. Even so, Xiaoming still released the circle to do a good job of defense and also exercise his mind ability. Looking at this scene, you can tell that Xiaoming is going to use his superpowers again. The first target is two strategic treasures. Silver statue of the god of light upward arrow. The enhancement of the statue is similar to the enhancement of the death coin, and it also adds a function. Bright companion 1, consume faith points to summon a spirit pet of the same level for the ascetic. Level 1 spirit consumes 10 faith points. Level 2 0 points, level 3 40 points. Pet types that can be summoned: beasts, dog spirit, cat spirit, pig spirit. It seems that the one after the function name means that there is only one type of spirit to choose from. And there are only 3. I guess there will be a way to expand the types of pets. I'll ask the High Priest Lan or the shopkeeper Huo when I have a chance. So, Lan Yura doesn't have a spirit pet at first. With her personality, she won't hide it. Could it be that she doesn't have a pet yet? Xiaoming can't judge. The pet system in the game has not been opened yet. Players are waiting to turn into heroes at level 2. It is estimated that the pet system should be opened by then. In reality, otakus may be lazy and unwilling to keep pets. Although pets are cute, it is more difficult to take care of them. It is better to catch up with the animation if you have that time. The pets in the game are very popular with otakus and are easy to take care of. There are many magical species to choose from: dragons, phoenixes, monsters, fairies, wild beasts, flowers, birds, insects, fish. So a group of otakus, including Zhang Xiaoming, have high expectations for the pet system in the Magic Planet. Now it has not reached the second level, but there is such a thing as a spirit pet. It seems very interesting. Xiaoming said that the seat is very interested. View the detailed system introduction. Spirit pets are essentially spirit creatures with light attributes. They do not need to eat, drink, defecate, urinate, or sleep, and only need the owner to pray every day to replenish their vitality, strength, mana, etc. If a spirit pet dies, it will automatically reborn next to its owner one day later. I don't know which is more labor-saving, praying or feeding. For Xiaoming, praying is definitely easier, because there is an intelligent program that can pray on his behalf. Spirit pets are usually the same as ordinary pets. They can act cute and act cute. They can do everything that pets can do. Because they are actually the same creatures, but after death, their souls go to the world of the God of Light and transform into spirit creatures. Spirit pets can participate in battles like ordinary pets, gain experience and upgrade. They can participate in battles in adventure maps and strategic maps. Moreover, spirit pets have one more way of fighting than ordinary pets: possession. Can this still be considered a pet? Spirit pets with high enough favorability can possess their owners, add status to their owners, and improve their fighting power to varying degrees. In the possessed state, the spirit and the owner live and die together. When the owner summons a spirit pet, he can specify the type. However, since there are many different varieties of the same type, it is completely random which one can be summoned. You may like to have a large dog, such as a sheepdog. But when you summoned it, you randomly got a chihuahua. Wouldn't it be very annoying? It doesn't matter, there is a way to remedy it. You can consume the same amount of faith points to exchange for another one. If the player is very picky, it is estimated that a lot of faith points will be consumed, which... This random mode is too cruel. Is this an additional charge? Humph. Then we have to discuss the price, because the faith points in this statue belong to Xiaoming. Xiaoming thinks that if he wants to make money, he can get a lot of benefits by relying on this alone. It's a pity that the faith point explorer himself is not enough. How come hundreds of faith points appeared so quickly? Why? Magic Planet online game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 117. The explorer and all his subordinates, as long as they believe in the God of Light, can restore the faith value of the silver statue of the God of Light every day through prayer. The results of prayer vary from person to person. The factors that may affect it include the depth of faith, the difference in occupation, the level, the length of prayer time, etc. Generally speaking, free NPCs all have their own personalities, and different life experiences will cause huge differences. Take Han Dong and Chiu San Tung, two childhood friends who grew up together. The effects of their daily prayers will be very different. Han Dong is a hero, and he has his own title, a person who yearns for light in the dark. His belief in the God of Light has been tested by the power of darkness, so the results of his daily prayers will be several times better than Chiu San Tung. Therefore, regarding the effects of free NPC prayers, the system generally calculates and collects them in real time. According to the explorer's subordinates, when the explorer himself, Han Dong, and Chiu San Tung pray, the faith value of the statue will be replenished immediately. The soldiers are completely different, because they have lower intelligence and fewer individual differences, so the effect of prayer is basically the same. The calculation of the faith value provided by the soldiers is simple and direct. It is calculated and collected immediately when logging in every day. Today is the first day, so it is collected immediately. Ordinary level 1 soldiers can provide about 1 point of faith every day, level 2 soldiers can provide 2 points every day, level 3 soldiers can provide 4 points, and so on. The faith value provided by light professions such as priests, ascetics, and paladins every day will have several times the effect of soldiers of the same level. It is for this reason that there are faith values in the holy statue of light now, because the system has collected the faith values of all the soldiers and creatures of Xiaoming today. As for why there are hundreds of points, it must be that the system has also counted the peasants brought by Han Dong. Although those people are nominally friendly forces, they will almost certainly be civilians or even soldiers in the explorer's territory in the future because they have received assistance from Han Dong's troops. It is normal that some faith values have to be surrendered by the explorer's subordinates Han Dong's protection. With these hundreds of faith points, Xiaoming couldn't hold back his impulse immediately. There's something fun. The first thing to do is to summon a spirit pet for yourself. I really want to get a dog to play with. When using the statue to summon, Xiaoming felt that his breath was a little strange. How to describe it? It's probably because his mind ability has achieved a certain achievement, and he's eager to show off. I don't seem to be developing any new abilities recently. Can this mind ability be developed by myself? Among my mind beasts, teachers, and witches do have certain research and development capabilities, and can study and analyze some things, and then develop some things. However, when I don't actively use them, they will only be in a state of research, and will not develop new projects on their own. Who is this feeling in my consciousness? What are you doing? Xiaoming said with some anticipation in his heart. In a moment, in the faint light, two non-living things, one big and one small, appeared in front of the explorer, staring at each other with big eyes and grinning at each other. One is a pure white dog that is about the same height as him. It looks a bit like the big white wolf in a fantasy movie, very handsome. But this is the smaller one. The other one is too familiar. Its standing posture is very similar to that of a velociraptor. It has a shiny black exoskeleton, a narrow head, a streamlined body, and a long tail. It is extremely weird and hideous. This is not an alien. Where did you run from, buddy? Did you go to the wrong set? Is this TNND also a pet? If you look closely, this alien is a bit arrogant. It is no less than 4 meters tall, and its length from head to tail is more than 10 meters. This is not the size of a normal alien, is it? It is much larger than an ordinary alien, and much smaller than the queen. What is this thing? The explorer in brown linen stared at this terrifying monster that should not appear, frowned. "What's wrong with you?" The pitch-black alien stared at the cute pet dog, confused. "Can I eat this?" The white spirit dog looked at the monster, then at the owner, shaking his head back and forth, at a loss. "Woo, so scary, I want to go home, master, let's run together?" Soon, a feeling of telepathy connected the consciousness of the three together. The spirit dog was undoubtedly summoned by the statue. The alien was a trick created by Xiaoming's mind ability. In the morning, Xiaoming borrowed Xiaoliang's special game cabin to enter the secret realm of the alien fighting the Iron Warrior. At the end, Xiaoming used his spare soul consciousness and the help of mind ability and superpowers to take over a transforming alien. Then the system forced the secret realm to stop. With Xiaoming's ability, the chance of success in taking over is very high, and the game system cannot ignore this. After calculation, the system concluded that the result was that Xiaoming's telekinesis ability devoured and assimilated the alien, and transformed it into Zhang Xiaoming's telekinesis beast clone, the alien lord. Xiaoliang's character has the ability of clone equals Xiaoming's original body can also have this ability equals all Xiaoming's characters who can use telekinesis can have it. So when summoning the spirit dog again, this telekinesis beast clone couldn't stand the loneliness in Xiaoming's subconscious mind, and took the initiative to run out and show up. As the name suggests, mind beast clones are mind beasts that are completely controlled by Xiaoming's own consciousness. Unlike the Uniform Mind Beast series, those mind beasts have their own personalities and expertise. As clones, the alien lords share the same consciousness with Xiaoming, so they are clones. They are not really pets. To put it in a more vivid way, a few people have multiple personalities. One main personality, multiple secondary personalities or derivative personalities. Most normal people also have the buds of multiple personalities in their subconscious, but lack the opportunity to form a truly semi-independent derivative personality. So normal people will occasionally go crazy and do something out of the ordinary, as if they have become a different person. Part of Zhang Xiaoming's mind ability is integrated with the derivative personality. The derivative personality and the main personality can actually be separated and semi-independent. Xiaoming's Uniform series mind beasts are operated by the derivative personality. And this alien clone is under the control of the main personality just like the original body. The issue of split personality and derivative personality is an extremely complicated thing in academia, so the author will not discuss it superficially, but only talk about his own settings. The setting of this book is that a person has hundreds of seeds of various derivative personalities in his subconscious. Most of these seeds will never grow into derivative personalities. An ability is generally related to the seeds of a person's main personality or derivative personality. Some of Xiaoming's Nin abilities are integrated with the seeds of his derivative personality. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 118. Xiaoming was doing two things at once, controlling the actions of the Naga and the alien lord at the same time. The total amount of soul occupied by the mind beast clone is much less than that of a normal human individual. On one side, the diver was staring at the mind beast clone in a daze, on the other side, the alien clone was running around in the diver's room, adapting to the new body. The clone was very tall, so it was not a big problem, but this movement mode with a tail made Xiaoming suffer a lot. He stumbled and fell so many times, but fortunately the exoskeleton was strong enough that it would not break no matter how he fell. The diver couldn't help but smile when he saw the clone falling. He recalled what happened to the explorer before. When the explorer, the spirit dog, and the alien communicated with each other, the hostility between the spirit dog and the alien disappeared instantly. The spirit dog knew that this scary-looking monster was also his master, and suddenly became excited. Is this because he is so happy to have such a big brother? It pounced on the explorer with a leap and licked the explorer's face several times. Fortunately, the spirit creatures can't drool, and there is no need to bother the explorer to wash his face. It seems that it feels that being intimate with the explorer will neglect the other master. The spirit dog jumped twice, turned around and pounced on the alien clone, but the alien clone also fell down with one pounce. Is there any justice in this? Is there any law? Such a strong alien lord was pounced to the ground by the spirit dog with such a big difference in size. What a shame for the alien. Or is it because Xiao Ming is too unfamiliar with the alien's body and can't keep his balance at all, so he will fall down without being pounced? Just like the Mind Beast clone that kept falling in the diver's room later. Once you fall to the ground, you have to enjoy the service of the spirit dog licking your face. Speaking of which, the pet spirit dog is really bold. It dares to lick such a scary thing. The prestige of the alien disappeared instantly. The dog licked it a few times and disliked the alien's head shell, which was particularly smooth and slippery, and it was uncomfortable to lick. So he went to harass the explorer again. How could the explorer fall into the trap again? He took the initiative to attack and knocked the spirit dog to the ground, and started rolling and wrestling. Usually Zhang Xiaoming likes this kind of large furry pet very much. It feels comfortable to hug it. But the explorer's individual strength alone is not enough to compete with this dog. So he controlled the clone to roll over and join the battle. The three main pets were having a lot of fun. During this process, Xiaoming gradually became proficient in controlling the clone. After playing for a while, Xiaoming thought of naming it. The system prompts were flashing on the panel for a long time. Xiaoming's own name is Rustic, and the name he gave is also very popular. The spirit dog is called Xiao Bai and the alien clone is called Xiao He. The system only prompted to name the dog, and the clone was also blessed. There is no way. 80% of the novels Xiaoming read have this name. He can't think of any other name for the time being. The focus now is to find out what Xiao He's ability is. After Xiaoming's assimilation, baptism, and strengthening of superpowers and telepathy. The telepathic beast alien lord is a species that has never appeared before. The body size is between ordinary aliens and alien queens. Physical fitness and combat effectiveness are also a bit better than the top and better than the bottom. Unlike ordinary aliens, the alien lord has the ability to reproduce. If there is enough flesh and blood and telepathy to support, he can breed embryos with parasitic abilities. Also, unlike the almost unlimited egg-laying ability of the alien queen, the Lord can only have a maximum of 10 surviving children in each world at the same time. Numbered from the oldest to the 10th. Among them, there can be at most 2 embryos of high-level warriors like the alien guards. If there are more, Xiaoming's telepathy ability will not be maintained. 10 is a relatively safe number that Xiaoming subconsciously chooses for automatic balance. It is set on the alien mind beast. The embryo's parasitic method is also unique. Because there is no face hugger to carry it, Xiao He needs to put the alien embryo into the host's body from his mouth. It is a real kiss of death. If Xiao Ming has seen the movie Alien vs Predator 2, he will know that the reproduction method of the clone is very similar to that of the iron-blooded alien. This matter is actually very embarrassing. Whether you can break through your meager sense of shame is unknown. This matter must not be known to others. Even Xiao Jing Zhang Wen and others cannot do it. Especially Zhang Wen and others, if they know about it, I don't know what kind of terrible ridicule they will face. The imagination of the otaku is used, and the wonderful words created by them will probably make Xiaoming ashamed to the point of wanting to commit suicide. After the mind beast embryo is placed in the host's body by Xiao He, it will absorb the host's flesh and blood and genes to evolve and develop. After about 1-2 hours, it can grow into an alien juvenile mind beast, and it will break through the host's body with the host's final wail. After that, it will feed on the host's flesh and blood, and continue to assimilate and grow. In a very short time, it will quickly grow into a normal-sized combat alien beast. Of course, It can also eat other meat. Combat aliens have semi-independent consciousness and are controlled by the alien lord's mind. In addition to fighting, they also have the ability to build nests with secretions. Due to the differences in hosts, there will be differences in size and ability between alien individuals. Of course, this difference will not be particularly exaggerated. It is impossible for a hatched alien to grow as big as a whale by parasitizing a whale. Moreover, it is not easy to successfully parasitize a too powerful existence, and it is likely to be directly killed by its immune system. Some hosts can even risk getting hurt, use external forces to kill or remove the embryo, and then use their own vitality to repair the injury. In fact, humans can do this with the help of machines. The alien embryo during the parasitic period is not unsolvable, but its mystery is really scary. Being unknown and developing rapidly are the biggest weapons of the alien in the embryonic period. For Xiaoming, it doesn't matter if he tries it occasionally. If it dies, he can breed another one, just a little bit of telekinesis. Xiao Hei's children are essentially the same as Xiao Hei, and they are still Xiaoming's telekinesis beasts. Xiaoming can maintain the supply of telekinesis to allow them to move normally, or he can actively cancel the telekinesis and make it disappear directly. As a telekinesis beast, if Xiao Hei is killed, Xiaoming can use telekinesis to revive it again. If his child is killed, Xiaoming can choose whether to revive it. If this one is not good, he can get a new one. Because they are telekinesis beasts, Xiao Hei's children cannot leave the range of Xiaoming's circle. Once they leave, the spiritual connection between the child and Xiao Hei will weaken, and they must go back as soon as possible. After being outside for a long time, these alien warriors will enter a dormant state until they exhaust the remaining telekinesis in their bodies and die, or they will persist until they are found by Xiaoming. As a clone, Xiao Hei cannot be too far away from the original body. Xiaoming's soul cannot bear to do two things at such a long distance. Knowing Xiao Hei's ability, guess what Xiaoming did first? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 119. Lifting the lid of the game room, Xiaoming climbed out. He looked at the other game room in the bedroom that was still unused. Well, Xiao Jing'er hadn't come back yet. How could the young girls go shopping together in their prime and go home in half a day? It's common to stay up all night. Xiaoming felt a little regretful, and also felt relieved. This is a very subtle and contradictory mentality. On the one hand, Xiaoming knew clearly that what happened in the past 10 hours could not and should not be told to others. The matter of the original liquid of life, the matter of Zhang Xiaoliang, the matter of Far Island's strange man, the matter of the alien clone, all could not be told. Not even to his sister. But on the other hand, too many things piled up in Xiaoming's heart at once. It made him a little difficult to breathe. Although he had become a man, Xiaoming still couldn't bear it and wanted to find someone to share it with. The best person to talk to was Xiao Jing'er. It didn't need to be said clearly, just vaguely reveal a little bit of everything. I heard something, it seems something. Talking about reality and fantasy in this way can greatly reduce Xiaoming's pressure. But by doing this, his clever little sister is likely to guess the truth. It also adds unnecessary burden and danger to Xiao Jing'er. So Xiaoming was very nervous in the few seconds when he looked at Xiao Jing's game cabin. If Xiao Jing'er was at home, Xiaoming would probably find it difficult to suppress the urge to confide. Seeing that his sister hadn't come back yet, the dust had settled. If you miss this opportunity, you will miss it. After a while, Xiaoming will be able to accept the reality. This desire to confide will also recede like the tide. P.S. If it cannot recede, and it is too suppressed, if it is strongly stimulated again, it may become a derivative personality, although the possibility is close to zero. After understanding Xiao Hei's ability in the game, Xiao Ming felt that his Mind Beast clone was as powerful as a fowl, the terrible potential and power of the alien lord. Xiao Hei's foundation is Xiao Ming's telekinesis. As Xiao Ming's telekinesis continues to improve, Xiao Hei will also become stronger and stronger. And telekinesis can be used in the real world. What would happen if Xiao Hei appeared on Pangu Star? This is the issue that Xiao Ming cares about most at the moment. Sitting cross-legged on the bedroom floor, Xiao Ming posed with his 5 hearts facing the sky, silently combing the various breaths and powers in his body. Time is like a trickle, quietly flowing by Xiao Ming's side. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Half an hour has passed, and under the coordination of superpowers, Xiao Ming's whole body's breath has been coordinated to a good state. Opening his eyes tacitly, Xiao Ming and the alien clone opposite him look at each other. He looks at the different self opposite him, but he is not looking in the mirror. Suddenly, the original body and the clone grin together. Not for anything else, just for the strange posture of the alien clone. We know that the alien has a long tail, so the standard standing posture should be to lean forward with the tail swinging behind to maintain balance. Xiao Ming is a human being, and it is awkward to pose in that posture. And deep down, Xiao Ming was a little worried that he might end up with a real-life version of an HD toddler. He tried his best to learn the movements of the alien, but he couldn't walk with a normal human body. So he suddenly had an idea and took a kangaroo pose. He lowered his tail to the ground as a third leg, and stood as steady as a mountain. It was steady enough, but very funny. Carrot. The normal standing alien was a killing machine ready to go. The posture of Xiao Ming's clone was just a fool. Xiao Ming didn't care, the best one was the one that suited him. For the application of the alien clone, Xiao Ming needed to find his own way. In reality, Xiao Hei is about 1.8 meters tall, about the same as a human, much taller than Xiao Ming, who is 1.7 meters tall with shoes. The only difference is the length of his tail. The ability is the same as in the game, which means that Xiao Hei can also breed 10 alien warriors. Their height is proportionally reduced to the height of a child. Xiao Ming's mind wandered, and he thought of a scene. He and his clone were running side by side in the sunset, and the alien children were following them. What a warm scene! If Brother Wen saw this, he would definitely laugh at them for being a family, and then make faces and ask him how he felt about being with the alien. Xiao Ming and his clone shuddered all over. It was too scary. And this kind of horror seemed unavoidable. Zhang Wen was a telepath. When the potential of the otaku was fully developed, he would definitely see Xiao Hei and the others in the future. Not to mention the future, he could see them now, just by concentrating. Xiao Ming secretly made up his mind. In order to avoid that terrible situation, Xiao Ming would increase his efforts to train his telepathy. Try to make Xiao Hei's body bigger as soon as possible. But improving ability is not easy. Training can only be done step by step. In the short term, if you want to make a big improvement, you may need to get some natural treasures in fantasy novels. That is even more rare. The reason why Xiao Hei is so big now is that Xiao Ming drank the life essence, which greatly improved his physical fitness. If Xiao Ming's total telekinesis was used as the basis, Xiao Hei would probably be only the size of a puppy, which would be much cuter. The timing was wrong, and it was stuck at the right moment. Now we can only take it one step at a time. Before Xiao Hei's body changes significantly, he will never let him appear in front of Zhang Wen. Xiao Ming secretly swore. Back to the original question, how to make his consciousness more coordinated with Xiao Hei's body. Xiao Ming began to search in his mind. Recalling the movement characteristics of various creatures, including various existing or imaginary ones. All kinds of ideas can be used as reference. With the stronger mental power after the upgrade, Xiaoming is able to retrieve so much information in his mind. Unfortunately, the nature of otaku is not a wise man with extremely high intelligence. After thinking about it, Xiaoming only figured out a stupid way: if the mountain doesn't come to me, I will go to the mountain. It's okay for the main body and the clone to be the same. Xiaoming thinks that the alien clone must act according to the structure of the body. In order to avoid the incoordination between the main body and the clone, why not add a tail to the main body? Isn't this consistent? Adding a tail is really not difficult. Xiaoming's superpowers and telekinesis can easily do it. In fact, Xiaoming has been exploring this direction for a long time, and he has had several like-minded talks with Brother Wen. Why? Because beast girls are the eternal pain in the hearts of otakus. Uniform temptation may appear in reality, but beast girls can only exist in fantasy. Uniform temptation is also a daydream. Okay, you guys should wake up. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 120. As we all know, in otaku culture, beast girls are probably one of the main forces. Cat girls, fox girls, mermaids, etc. are all super cute. Non-human ears, tails, claws, have a huge killing power on otakus. In reality, cosplay imitations are commonplace. In addition to appearing at comic exhibitions, they can also be seen occasionally on the streets. Of course, comic exhibitions are still the main place for otakus to enjoy their eyes and cultivate their minds. Most of the various cosplay costumes that appear at comic exhibitions are for sale. A few of them are specially made. Xiaoming estimates that Wen Ji must have a lot of such clothes hidden in his family. Did he buy them to wear himself? Pervert. He would complain like this, absolutely out of justice, not out of blatant jealousy. Xiaoming, who has a younger sister at home, really dare not buy such clothes for collection. How embarrassing it would be to be seen by Xiao Jing. For the same reason, many of the welfare-related things for otakus are not available at Xiaoming's home. Of course, stinginess is another reason. To take care of the mental health of employees/shareholders. Zhang Wen often takes the initiative to pay for it and takes Xiaoming to various welfare-oriented occasions. Xiaoming sometimes goes, sometimes not. Birds of a feather flock together, and many of Xiaoming's current friends are met in such occasions. After playing the Magic Planet game, although it was only a week, Xiaoming's life has changed a lot. Financial slack is a small matter. Xiaoming didn't spend much to begin with, and he can be supported by his sister who is a top student in a few years. Shameless. There is no problem financially. He made money in the game, which means he is more affluent, and the change is not big. Unlike others who make money to buy a house or a car, he can't afford it with the money he earns. Of course, if Xiaoming is willing to exchange all his resources in the game for money, it will definitely be a huge sum of money. But he doesn't have this intention. Instead, the ability has the biggest change in Xiaoming's life. To be precise, this change is mainly brought about by the ability of mind. Covering all aspects of mind abilities, Xiaoming's superpowers, which he didn't know how to use, were brought to full play. It made him a real superpower in reality, instead of the fake one before. In the 30 years of his superpowers in the first half of his life, Xiaoming's performance was really not good, and it was embarrassing to talk about it. It was different with the mind power. Other abilities could have done this. For example, the chakra of Naruto, the force of Star Wars, the 5 elements of immortals, the magic of Western fantasy, and so on. As long as there is a complete system of ability for cultivation and application, it can be used as a channel for Xiaoming's superpowers to be fully utilized. Xiaoming also chose the mind power as this channel by chance. Because the first thing he came into contact with and mastered was the mind power from the Hunter secret realm. Zhang Xiaoming, who has mastered the application of mind power, has a broader vision, a larger stage for activeness, and a deeper understanding of the world. But these are not what Xiaoming cares about most. After imitating Zhang Wen and developing a uniform series of beastmen, a happy life of pleasing eyes every day began. This is the key point, okay. Originally, Xiaoming had the idea and plan to develop beast woman uniforms. In the past 2 days, he and Zhang Wen have discussed issues such as color and style several times. Although it has not been finalized yet, it has accumulated rich experience. It is difficult to finalize because there are too many options, and it is difficult to choose. Now it is over, and none of them can be chosen. The situation is forced, and an alien suit needs to be developed first. Diamond suit. If I had known this would happen, I would have chosen one at random. Xiaoming was still muttering in his mouth, Catwoman, Fox Girl, Mermaid, I'm sorry everyone. Be patient, the next one will be you. His eyes were already using telekinesis to carefully observe and figure out the exoskeleton structure of the alien clone. At the same time, the clone was also feeling the structure of the alien clone. The same soul, internal and external coordination. The effect of collecting information was surprisingly good, and soon Xiaoming was familiar with the structure of the alien suit. With the experience accumulated previously and the improvement of telekinesis, Xiaoming really built the alien suit in one go. It really took a lot of effort. If it was a Catwoman suit, it would definitely not be so difficult. The alien suit is less attractive to Xiaoming, and the preference in the heart cannot deceive telekinesis. To be honest, the alien suit looks terrible and has powerful abilities. When summoning the alien suit, Xiaoming's whole body will be covered with an alien-like exoskeleton armor, which greatly enhances Xiaoming's attack, defense, and speed. In terms of appearance, people with telekinesis look like aliens. For others, unless Xiaoming chooses to make the alien suit visible, they still see Xiaoming in their eyes and cannot see the alien. At the same time, the alien suit also provides a long bone tail. In the future, the tail will become one of Xiaoming's main weapons. But for now, the focus is still to help Xiaoming's main body and clone coordinate movements and become familiar with the alien's way of action. When entering the game again, Xiaoming did not log into the Explorer. With the intelligent program, we can put it aside for now. Xiaoming chose to go to the underwater limestone town first. So there was that scene, the diver sat in his own home, playing with the inheritance orb in a daze, while watching the alien clone struggling to familiarize himself with the body in the house. Fortunately, this room is also the diver's bedroom and is protected by the system. Otherwise, the alien clone is too big, and the roof of an ordinary room would be broken by Xiaohe. The diver put away the inheritance orb, summoned the alien suit and put it on, and adapted to the new mode with the clone. A surprise is here. Did you expect it? The diver finally has legs. You know, the lower body of the Naga is shaped like a snake's tail, and there are no legs. This makes the diver's action mode different from Xiaoming, who is a human. It is a bit awkward during the game. And putting on the alien suit happened to solve this little trouble. This is something Xiaoming had not thought of before. The alien suit adds a tail to the human form and 2 legs to the Naga form, bringing them to the same level. Brother is so smart, farsighted, wise, and powerful, Xiaoming secretly flatters himself. He never mentions that he is lucky. In the past, Xiaoming did have some obstacles in adapting to the diver's body. It must be not smooth to manipulate a non-human body. It's okay to report the dead. Although it is a skeleton, it is not much different from the human body. When operating the exploration robot in the Chu galaxy, there is no real body, no nervous system, and it is simpler to operate purely by consciousness. And I only went there twice in total. All along, only the diver is more difficult to deal with. Therefore, except for urgent matters, Xiaoming rarely switches to the diver. When it is necessary to operate the diver, the movement is quite inconvenient, and the main way to travel is swimming. Now it's good, the operating obstacle has been unexpectedly resolved. Good luck. Why didn't you buy a lottery ticket?